Winter in Vancouver is officially here, and with it, some of the most magical holiday experiences in the city. Today, we're exploring the very best of Vancouver's festive season. We'll stop by the Shipyards Christmas Market, check out some of the light installations downtown, and explore the city's dazzling light festivals, from canyon lights to VanDusen Garden. This is Winter in Vancouver. Welcome to part 2 of my Winter in Vancouver series. If you missed part 1, I covered the Vancouver Christmas Market, Kringle's pop-up bar, and some of my favorite Christmas shops around town. I'll link that one down below. And if you're traveling this season, check out my Etsy store. My travel packing lists are on sale until Christmas. If you're an overpacker like I am, they're a great way to plan for exactly what you need. I've linked a discount code below. Now, let's go shopping. Our first stop today is the Shipyards Christmas Market in North Vancouver, which has quickly become one of the city's most popular holiday destinations, and for good reason. Unlike the Vancouver Christmas Market downtown, this one is free and has a lot more to offer. Located in the Shipyards just off Lonsdale Quay, the Shipyards Christmas Market is just a 12-minute sea bus ride from Waterfront Station downtown. On paper, it checks a lot of boxes for a festive night out, but it definitely has some drawbacks. This was my first time, and I have some thoughts. The first thing you'll notice is just how big the Shipyard setup is. Compared to the paid Christmas market downtown, this one covers a much larger area. There's a lot more to explore. Food vendors, craft stalls, family-friendly installations, live music, and of course the ice rink at the center of it all. The activities at Shipyards are definitely one of its highlights. The ice skating rink is huge by holiday market standards, and it gives the whole space that classic winter charm. If you're in search of a lively, high-energy holiday outing, the Shipyards Market delivers that in spades. And again, all of this is without an entry fee, which is a major draw for families and larger groups. But the downside of a free market is that it can feel extremely crowded. And not just busy, crowded to the point where it loses some of that cozy, intimate, traditional Christmas market atmosphere. Now, I did film this on the Sunday of opening weekend. You may have better luck during the week or later in the season. But when I went, it felt more like a winter street festival than a curated Christmas market. That lack of intimacy is probably the biggest difference from the downtown market. If you're hoping for that old-world, European-style charm, you might not find it here. And you'll probably have to stand in a long line for spiced wine, and pretty much everything else. Still, the Shipyards Christmas Market has its place. If you're going to a Christmas market to actually shop, this is actually your ideal market. They have a lot of local vendors, and its proximity to the Lonsdale Quay Market is also a plus. I think if you're looking for a date night out, the Vancouver Christmas Market is a bit more cozy if you don't mind the fee. I'll link my review of that market down below. But if you're on a budget and don't mind crowds, the Shipyards Market is also worth a visit. Nestled inside the lobby of the Hyatt Regency in downtown Vancouver is Gingerbread Lane, a free charity event supporting Canada's Make-A-Wish Foundation. I stumbled on this a few years ago when I stopped by the Starbucks in the hotel lobby, and it's fun to stop by every year to see the new entries. Each year, the hotel lobby hosts somewhere around 30 gingerbread houses, from artists of every level. Admission is free, but they have QR codes posted throughout the venue if you want to donate as well. This year's entries were all charming and ambitious. From cozy villages to castles, dragons, and museums. It's fun to see what people come up with every year. I think this one was my favorite. The detail on it was incredible. And it wouldn't be 2025 without a Labubu winter manor. I'm not sure if that's festive or a little creepy. Let me know your thoughts. Next up is Lumiere, a series of light installations across downtown Vancouver. If you're watching this, unfortunately, you missed it. It only runs for one weekend in mid-November. It's been going for 12 years, but I think a lot of people are unaware of it, so this is your heads up for next year so you don't miss it. The main installations are located at Robson Square, with other installations across downtown in Gastown, Davie Village, and Beach Avenue. It's a really beautiful collection of work by local and international artists, with everything from light sculptures and light canopies to lasers. It's not technically a Christmas activity, but it feels like the official start of the holiday light festivals. And it's completely free and open to the public. And it's easy to stop by the different locations while you're out and about in downtown. Vancouver is known for its unique art installations across town, and this is one of my favorites, though I do wish it lasted a bit longer. The blue string light canopy is still at Robson Square, and they have a similar installation in Yaletown right next to the SkyTrain station. So even if you missed Lumiere, you can still check those out. For more festive light installations, Destination Downtown runs the whole month of December, with some elements available through February. Things kick off with the Christmas tree lighting at the Art Gallery's North Plaza, which, I'll be honest, was a bit anticlimactic. But you can take a ride on a mini Ferris wheel from December 2nd through January 3rd, which is free on Tuesdays. Just a block over in Robson Square is a small ice skating rink, which is also free and runs until the end of February. And there's no Swift Cougar this year, but the lit words are back in holiday form, and you can find them scattered across downtown for that perfect Instagram moment. The Vancouver sign is at the Art Gallery Plaza this year, with 5 other words scattered across downtown, from Mealtown to the Convention Center. These are all the ones that I could find, but let me know if I missed one. I'll link exact locations down below. There are also a series of animal and winter-themed light installations around downtown as well. From snowflakes and reindeer at Robson Plaza, to giant bears and polar bears down at the Convention Center. You can check out the Destination Downtown website for daily performances around town as well, which they update on a weekly basis. While you're downtown, you can also take a stroll down to St. Paul's Hospital on Burrard Street to check out the Lights of Hope, a yearly light installation that supports the St. Paul's Foundation fundraiser. They kick things off at the end of November with a family-friendly event and fireworks display, but you can stop by throughout the month of December to check out the light installation. If you're in search of a budget and family-friendly light display, Lights at Lafarge is Metro Vancouver's largest free outdoor holiday light display. Located at Lafarge Lake in Coquitlam, the lights wrap all the way around the lake, making it a magical place for a winter stroll. The walking route around Lafarge Lake clocks in at roughly 2 kilometers, depending on which paths you take. Just enough for a relaxed 30-minute walk if you go straight through, or longer if you linger and take it all in. This was my first visit, and it is really stunning, particularly with all of the lights reflecting off the lake. It's a really unique light display, and worth a visit if you've never been. Let's have a look around. It was a bit crowded when I went, and there were a lot of families, so if you're looking for a more peaceful stroll, you may want to go later in the evening. I filmed this around 6:30 on a weekday, and it was definitely on the busier side. Another drawback is that it's a bit of a trek from downtown Vancouver. It's around an hour drive from downtown depending on traffic. I took the SkyTrain, which has a stop nearby, but it's still a 45-minute train ride from the city. They do have washrooms and a small cafe at the community center if you're craving a chimney cake. And for what it is, a free, beautiful, community-oriented light show, Lights at Lafarge is a fun outing if you're in the area or you don't mind the commute. Next up is Canyon Lights at the Capilano Suspension Bridge, one of Vancouver's most iconic and unique holiday experiences. The entire park transforms for the season, and it feels like entering a glowing forest straight out of a storybook. It's part holiday festival, part forest adventure, part light installation, and entirely atmospheric. Whether it's your first visit or a yearly tradition, Canyon Lights offers a uniquely West Coast take on the holidays that I love. I was here in October for their Canyon Frights light installation, I'll leave a link for that review down below if you want to compare. But I found canyon lights to be equally as fun and actually a lot more magical. The park offers 3 unique main attractions. The first up is Cliff Walk, on the entrance side of the park. Cliff Walk is a narrow series of suspended walkways, attached directly to the cliff face high above the river, and at night it becomes even more dramatic. The night I went was particularly misty across the canyon, which made the view of the suspension bridge unbelievably stunning. The cliff itself is lit with green and amber lights, and the canyon walls fall into shadow below you. If you're a bit wary of heights, the cliff walk is a bit easier on your nerves than the suspension bridge, and it's the one attraction at the park you don't have to cross the canyon for. After exiting the cliff walk, you follow a short forest trail back toward the main plaza, and this is actually one of my favorite sections of the park. It's lit up like a magical forest for canyon lights, and it's absolutely stunning, especially considering it's really just a return path to the trading post and restaurant. Next up is the suspension bridge itself, which is admittedly difficult to film on, and it was a bit crowded when I crossed over, but I'll show you more on the way back. On the far side of the bridge, you can stop at the cabin for a hot drink and a sweet treat. I recommend their otter balls, which are mini bite-sized pancakes. I won't ask how they got their name. The main attraction here, though, is the Treetops Adventure, and this is where Canyon Lights goes full enchanted forest. A series of elevated walkways connect 8 massive Douglas firs, some over 2 centuries old, and more than 100 feet tall. Everything is wrapped in soft glowing lights that make the whole place feel whimsical and cozy. This is definitely the magical Ewok Endor adventure you're looking for. At least it was for me. Even with the crowds, you get these little pockets of quiet where it's just you, the trees, and the realization that your phone camera will never capture how pretty it actually is. From here you can look out over the surrounding forest and some of the other light installations below. It's absolutely one of the best parts of the night, and it's a really unique Pacific Northwest holiday experience. The real showstopper, though, is actually the surrounding forest, and this is where Canyon Lights really stands out. The scale of the light displays is incredible, and the surrounding old-growth rainforest comes alive through a series of beautiful light installations. The first is a path around the ponds, lit by sparkly white lights and glowing orbs suspended over water. Glowing reindeer line the path that leads you down to Nature's Edge, a magical path through the forest that runs along Capilano Canyon and crosses under the suspension bridge. I really loved this section with small, color-changing orbs scattered across the forest floor. It's definitely worth hanging out here for a few minutes just to watch them shift through a series of color patterns and light designs. This area of the park also gives you a great view from underneath the suspension bridge, as well as the canyon. After crossing under the bridge, you'll cross through a light tunnel, which is probably the most Instagrammable part of the path. You'll probably have to wait a bit for that perfect photo. A lot of people were stopping here for selfies. But yeah, it looks great on camera, so I didn't mind a bit of a wait. The rest of Nature's Edge path is equally as photogenic and stunning. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'll let you have a look around. So we're back at the bridge now. Crossing back over, I was able to film a bit more. It is quite wobbly though. It's probably not a bad idea to get a hand strap for your phone if you intend on filming or taking a selfie. The more people on the bridge, the more it sways. And in all the times I've been here, it's rare to get across it without at least a bit of a crowd. but I managed to get the entire last third of the bridge with nobody in front of me, so hey, it can happen. Canyon Lights runs from mid-November to January 18th, and tickets range from $28 for kids to $75 for adults. If you're a BC resident, the full-price ticket gets you an annual pass. You'll still need to reserve a time slot each time you go, but your pass is good for multiple visits throughout the year. On your way out, you can stop by the trading post. They have a couple of food vendors outside where you can sit and relax, and the store carries everything from full outerwear to souvenirs and treats. All in all, yes, Canyon Lights is pricey, but if you can afford it, I think it's worth it as an experience, whether you're local or new to Vancouver. Our final stop today is the Festival of Lights at VanDusen Botanical Garden. This is easily one of Vancouver's most beloved holiday traditions, and honestly one of the best light displays in the entire city, in my opinion. There is an admission fee, but it's significantly cheaper than Canyon Lights and ranges from $13 for kids to $32 for adults. It runs from late November to January 4th. It's great for families, and it's a lot more accessible overall. And if you don't do well with heights or bridges, this one is probably more your style. There are maps to guide you through the various light displays, and there are a number of food and drink vendors throughout the garden. Shaughnessy Restaurant is also accessible from the garden, where you can grab a glass of wine and relax on their patio. There are also a number of food trucks and vendors scattered throughout the garden, serving everything from Japa Dog to chocolate fondue. The Rose Garden was one of my favorite sections of the garden this year. And yes, they play Taylor Swift and pop music instead of more traditional Christmas music in certain areas. But I actually enjoyed it, though I've seen a few people complain about that online. It goes with all the pink, and if you love pink, there's a lot of it this year. From the moment you enter VanDusen Garden, you're surrounded by color. The entire garden is transformed during the holiday season. They have light tunnels and beautiful, colorfully lit tree-lined paths. 100 different stunning Instagram moments, all of it magical. The most beautiful light installation is still the lake at the entrance of the garden. They run synchronized light shows every 20 minutes from the top of the hour, so it's worth circling back for that once you've explored a bit. I recommend going earlier in the evening if you can. I went around 5 o'clock during the week, and it was just right as far as crowds. Things definitely got busier after 6 o'clock. And they do have free parking, but it's notoriously difficult to get a spot. I say that, but then I actually managed to get one on this trip, so it's worth a try. But if you strike out, I've also found parking on 37th Avenue as well. For me, the Festival of Lights is one of my favorite things to do in Vancouver for the holidays. But let's have a look around, and you can decide for yourself. So that wraps up our holiday tour of Vancouver this year, and I hope that helps you plan your holiday season a bit. I still have a holiday afternoon tea video coming up, so keep an eye out for that, and if you missed part 1, you can check that out now for some holiday shopping guides and some festive drinks. Subscribe for more content like this. What's your favorite holiday activity in Vancouver? Let me know in the comments below.